I have not heard of any Christian that broke their vow of chastity so far. I have not heard of any Christian that broke their vow of chastity who came to Christ, walked away from fornication, or who were born again young as teenagers, and so never even broke their virginities, waiting on the Lord for husbands. I can't really say that I've met a man that was in this. No, I did. Did I? A man? No, I can't really say that. Yes, I did. A man. I did know of a man that did that. So both men and women who wanted to be celibate, and then somewhere along the way, because it took too long, or what they imagined to be too long, I've never even met a single one of them who, as a result of them breaking their vow of chastity, recovered. There was always some permanent dent, permanent mark, permanent affliction that followed them around irrecoverably. God forgives, God recovers, God restores, but they don't bounce back from that mistake. So if they were waiting for husbands, what I tend to find with, especially the women who settled, who allowed themselves to fornicate, and then they felt like trash, and then recovered their celibacy journey. When they do get married, the men that they marry, there's one on the internet right now who won't even let us know who her husband is. When they do get married, they have accepted, basically they said that their standards are at a certain level and they're not going to abandon them. They believe that marriage and remarriage is a sin, so they would never ever accommodate anybody else's ex-husband. When the former spouse is still alive, they had told themselves that I don't want a guy that has a child. They had told themselves that I don't want a blended family. I give out this, I give out that, and all of them, if they did get married, their husbands were so substandard from what it is that they asked for. They ended up settling. And then there are those who never got married, and they're super bitter now, and they are a lot more impatient than they were prior to breaking their vow of chastity. Now that they were recovered, now they're more impatient, and they are more prone to falling apart under sexual sin. There was a guy that I knew, that I dated, that wanted to hold on to his vow of chastity, fornicated with his ex-girlfriend. And when I was in his life, he struggled to honor my rules, my convictions, brought me into his apartment, made out a whole bunch on his couch, almost fornicated. Essentially, once he fell, it was near on impossible for him to, with a new woman now, stay on the straight and narrow. No one